Bonjour! I am back from a really wonderful 3-day trip in Paris. It was jam-packed. I think me and my mum did about 72,000 steps, which is about 30-ish miles in 3 days. And it did feel like that. We were walking quite a bit. The purpose of going was to really look at the Art Nouveau architecture. I really have, in the last couple of months, in the last year, I have really been drawn to the Art Nouveau movement, and I thought, well, where's a really good place to see it? And Paris is top of the list for that. And as I kept seeing so many Art Nouveau buildings on my Pinterest and Google, I just thought it's so cheap to fly from the UK to France. So let's go see it in person, and that's exactly what we did. So the itinerary was kind of made up the day before flying. I'm just very last minute a lot of the times, but I'm really pleased with what we got to see. There were a lot of places that we, due to time constraints, we couldn't go see, but I also mixed in some like fabric shops that I really wanted to go to. What else? But honestly, Paris is amazing. I mean, if you're looking for Art Nouveau inspiration, or you just want to stare at the sights, then you can just have a walk around. You don't even need to have like a planned itinerary, and like not even 2 minutes goes by and like you can already see like the Art Nouveau influence in architecture, in bins, shop fronts. Honestly, it's everywhere. I've taken about over 200 videos of this trip, and it's my first proper vlog recommendations thing. So yeah, if you want to have like an idea of like an Art Nouveau itinerary, then this is hopefully the one for you. And yeah, let's get into it. So me and my mum spent 3 full days in Paris. We got there quite early on, about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we dropped off our bags at our hotel, which I will show you later because it is a pretty snazzy hotel. And we just started trotting around. We were literally like 5 minutes away from the Notre Dame Cathedral. So of course we had to go have a look. And I know they're getting like building works done because it caught on fire not that long ago. So it's not the most prettiest sight from the river side, but other than that, gorgeous. And like I said, you can find Art Nouveau pretty much anywhere in Paris. It is in the metro stations, it is the bins with their lovely curve, flowy shapes, it's the storefronts with their tiles and mosaics. It's everywhere if you really look for it. First up on the itinerary was this incredible haberdashery place. So one of my followers sent me a recommendations list with some fabric shops and haberdashery shops in Paris, and this was, I think it was voted like the top haberdashery shop, maybe in the world, but I'm not too sure. I might have got that wrong. It could be in France, I don't know. But it was pretty incredible. It had all of these lovely little jars with little flowers and beads. There was, I mean, if you are a knitter, then this is the shop for you because the yarn and the quality of yarn was incredible. And they had a massive wall full of yarn, so get yourself there. My mum was getting so excited and she ended up buying a couple of these little butterflies, and I also got a little butterfly too. And I know what you're thinking, like that entire shop and all you got was just this, but I'm trying to be more clever with my purchases, and I thought I've got a purpose for this. I'm gonna add it to a Japanese fabric thing that I want to do, like a bag that I want to make, and this is like the perfect red for it. So that's what I've done. So don't judge me. When I tell you, I mean, I wish I could show you my face when I was walking around with the camera when I first walked in, because my jaw was dropped. I've never seen such a beautiful, clean, pristine building. The interior absolutely screams Art Nouveau, and again, it really is just the most beautiful building I have ever seen inside. So if you're into Art Nouveau, then I 1000% recommend that you add this to your itinerary. we were heading to the last stop on our itinerary for that day, I seen this massive building sort of peeking out, and we took a slight detour to it. And to be honest, I am not too sure what this building is. I can tell you the street name, which is this. I think what I really love about it is that the wire like overlay on the building kind of reminds me of the Dragonfly Tiffany glass lampshades. I don't know if it's inspired by that, but that's what I saw when I looked at it. And I easily could have gone feral, but I don't think I did. I actually think I stayed quite tame. So I ended up getting 3 of these little fabric squares, 50 by 70 centimeters. So one's this lovely neon peach corally thing. We've got this really nice blue. I wanted like a little floral Art Nouveau-ish print, and I thought that was really lovely. And then I got this really nice vibrant lilac with mustards and things like that. And then I also got some bias binding. I haven't really got a plan for these. I just thought I had to have them. So I don't know if I'm gonna maybe make a smaller little thing or add it as patches in something. No idea. But I thought the inside of the shop was absolutely gorgeous, and I did read some reviews beforehand saying that there's a staff member who's a bit grumpy, but honestly I didn't have that problem, and I thought it was just lovely in there. So yeah, stay tuned for another video of what I do with this. Can I be honest with you? I came to Paris back in 2017, maybe, and it was for the Dior exhibition, and it was a slightly last minute trip, and we wanted to do it really on the cheap. So we got a really cheap hotel that was quite outside of Paris, and it meant having to travel in. And I'll be honest, I think I totally misjudged Paris because of it. This hotel, Hotel de Nice or Nice, I'm not too sure how you pronounce it. It was really central, and it just made our days so much easier. There's metro links, bus links. It was just so much nicer, and literally right next to that hotel is a lovely little square with cafes and restaurants and bars. So if there's anything I can recommend, it is, if you're staying in Paris, just spend the extra cash on a hotel that is more central, because as with any city traveling thing, it doesn't feel like a holiday as such, because you're traveling so much, trying to see so much. So to have like a place that's really central, that's easy to get to after 10 miles of walking, it is necessary. Day 2 of the itinerary, and it was all about Art Nouveau. So for my little bit of research for the itinerary for this, I found one blog, which I will link in the description below, and a YouTube video which showed the starting point at this beautiful cafe. Of course, me and my mum grabbed a cheeky little hot chocolate and just watched Paris life for a little bit. Next on the itinerary, if you look directly at the cafe, at the front of the cafe, and then swivel left like I'm doing here, and then follow the road, and then on your right you have one of the most beautiful Art Nouveau style buildings and door. I also really love that the architect's name is inscribed on the building. And I did find that with most of the buildings. So I have tried to film them and hopefully you can see. If you take the same route as we did, you will see the Eiffel Tower just, I say peeking out, but it's definitely not peeking out. It's like right there. I don't know why, but I decided that I wanted to get pictures in front of these beautiful Art Nouveau doors. I mean, it doesn't need me in the picture. I just wanted to prove that I was there. These places were not busy at all. They're literally just buildings within streets. It's really easy to get good footage and pictures because there's not loads of people looking at them. This guy definitely thought I was videoing him, but it wasn't. It was the stained glass window. Sorry. Just for your information, when I went onto Google Maps and typed in Art Nouveau near me, this came up, Maxims, and it was initially a museum, and I think it's still listed as a museum on Google, but it apparently closed like 5 years ago. To be honest, when I looked at reviews, there wasn't too much. Recently, it was more about hosting events, and there was like a menu to have like cocktails and food outside. However, I did knock on the door and I did see that there was someone sitting inside, but maybe they didn't see me or whatever. But apparently back in the day when it was a museum, it was filled to the brim with Art Nouveau artifacts, I guess. And I'll see if I can download some pictures that I found on Google of what it used to look like. But apparently it's no longer, which is really sad because just looking through the doors, I could see that there was the gorgeous carpet that was on Google and the beautiful curvy like reception front thing. And I did see if I could maybe go inside, but there was no one there to be seen. So, which is such a shame because I reckon it would have been really amazing if it was still an Art Nouveau museum, but oh well. So if you did have that on your list, maybe it's not wise to go because you can't see anything. if you are planning a little Art Nouveau tour in Paris, then 1000% you need to head to this pinpoint and then just walk around here. And you only have to walk literally around the corner to find another incredibly intricate, beautiful building. So follow this pin, go from there, find Art Nouveau. Me and my mum did the most amount of walking on this day, and we finished it with a well-deserved cocktail each. And I also really wanted to take my mum to see the Eiffel Tower when it flashes at night time. However, we got there about 7:15 in the evening, and because the flashing doesn't happen until like on the hour, we were so knackered after like 12 miles of walking that we ended up going back to the hotel with a cup of tea and eating the cakes that we bought from the patisserie before. We're wild ones, if you couldn't tell. So day 3 of the itinerary was actually more to do with the fabric shops. So if you're new around here, I do upcycle and I love sewing. It's my full-time job, but also my passion, my love, my hobby. The first thing on the list was to go to the Dali Museum. Not to actually go in the museum because, to be honest, we had a flight later that day and I was very conscious of the time, but I just wanted to see the building. But we ended up doing a slight detour that took us up about 1,000,000 steps and we ended up at this church. Oh, that's cool. We ended up spending a lot of time here because not only were the views incredible, but the little village town that was by it was so cute. It was full of little cafes and really nice boutique-y souvenir shops. It was sweet. A French artist gave us these little gifts for free, which is something that she was doing as part of an art project, which I thought was really sweet. And it was literally only around the corner from the little fabric district in Paris. So we ended up spending quite a bit of time there, which restricted the fabric spending time, which, pros and cons. You'll see why. So if you are looking for fabric in Paris, then this is the place to go. And again, we had a few time constraints because we had to get back to the hotel to pick up our bags around 4ish in the afternoon, and by the time that we were here it was about 1ish, I would say, and there was still another stop on the itinerary that I really wanted to go to before, so this felt a little rushed, but I felt like I got good content, and I did end up buying just 2 things. So a couple of the shops only sell in 3-meter bundles, and a lot of them are discounted at 20%, 50%, and I don't have many fabric regrets. But I do regret not buying this fabric. It was the most perfect shade of coral and glitter and red, and I should have bought it, but it was for 3 meters, it was 60 euros. And it was gorgeous. I should have just bought it. If anyone's in Paris and they're around there, then can you let me know, because I'm dreaming about it. Then this fabric shop in particular is massive. I believe it's 5 floors. I think the level system is a bit different to the UK. So their ground floor is 1, I think, and then the one below is like -1. So if you go to the -1 floor, that is their haute couture selection, and it's very heavily discounted fabrics. And again, I only had cabin luggage booked, or else I would have probably bought out the entire shop because it was stunning. They had a floor for curtains and drapes. They had a floor for, I think, like wedding materials, and of course they had a floor full of haberdashery, the most beautiful trimmings I've ever seen. And I really like this Chanel like trimming, which is like buccal tweed with like little faux pearl like beading on. Thought it was gorgeous. And I know you're all screaming at me being like, why did you not just buy things? But again, I was limited. I was limited. I didn't know. I was there for the Art Nouveau. I didn't know I was gonna stumble across some of the most beautiful fabrics I've ever seen. So if I can recommend anything, is if you go to Paris for shopping, fabric shopping, then book the damn luggage. You'll be happy to know that I did actually buy a couple of things. So in that little village before, I did end up buying these Van Gogh printed socks. I love high socks. They're just perfect for boots, and it matches my phone case, which has my cats as stickers on. That's normal. And then I lost my blooming leopard print beret, and it's one that I've had for years. It was like cashmere from Topshop years ago, and I've worn it for so many winters and autumns, and it's fine. I must have dropped it in Paris somewhere, so if you see it, let me know. But I ended up buying this little beret, which I thought was a really nice shade of purple, and yeah, I just thought it was really cute, and I can just, yeah, love it. This I don't regret buying. This was 5 euros, and it was in the discounted thing, in the like bins that were outside, and it's this really lovely, I don't know what the material is, but it's like creased, and it's part of the look, and it's like shiny. And yeah, with 3 meters I could do anything with it. I'm thinking maybe like either this as a dress, like this blouse that I made, but dress form with this, or maybe even like a slip dress. I don't know yet. And I bought this, but I don't know if I regret it or not. I don't know if it's a bit too novelty print for me. I'm not too sure yet. But this was 15 euros for 3 meters, and it's cotton. There's the fabric there. And again, it's this lovely coral with little butterflies on. Do you know what? No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think I just need to style it the right way. But yeah. So I did buy some things, and honestly, I had to be a little bit cheeky, but I bought a duty-free item at the airport because I was only allowed literally like a little backpack to go under my seat. That was the allowance. So I bought like a bottle of water from duty free and had the bag, and then managed to like cram my fabric in because this is quite bulky, and managed to cram it in and somehow get away with not having to pay any excess. So that's good. Okay, last thing on this itinerary, and again, if you love Art Nouveau, then I cannot recommend this place enough. And this was something that wasn't even on my original plan. It was something that a follower had recommended to me, and I'm so glad that she did. So basically there are a chain of restaurants called Bouillon, I hope I'm saying that right, and there's 3 of them sort of in the same area, and I just had a quick look on Google and I seen a very slight snippet of the inside of this one that we went to. And guys, I'm not even going to speak, I'm just going to show you what was inside because it was absolutely stunning. It was starting to get a little later in the day, and again we had to be on that train to the airport for like 4ish, so we walked all the way back, which was a 30-minute walk from that restaurant, and we just had a quick little tea and cake break and a little visit around some little shops by the hotel, and I picked up this little brooch which feels like I've marked the Art Nouveau-ness, because that is a very Art Nouveau, Art Deco kind of shape. So yes, and it's so annoying. I wish we had more time because there was this beautiful place that was literally right behind our hotel, and again, if you're in that area then I recommend going because it's really cool. I just wish we had more time to go visit. So that was our 3 very jam-packed Art Nouveau vlog thing. There were a few places that I unfortunately just couldn't get to. It was either too out of reach or just the time constraints. We just couldn't make them, but I've put like a little list together here, and I'll add some little links in the description below in case you have a bit of a longer time there and you can go visit everything. One thing I really regret is where we stayed, the whole behind like is covered with some vintage shops, secondhand fabric shops, loads of cute cafes, patisseries, loads of that kind of stuff. So I wish if we had the time we could really have like explored that area, because I reckon, I mean, that could be a whole new video. Maybe, yeah, maybe if this YouTube thing works out really well, I'll go back. We'll see. There's also some museums that I would have loved to have gone to, but again, the purpose of the trip was to go see Art Nouveau architecture in real life, and I feel like we did that. And just some last minute recommendations if you are going to Paris. One, I recommend that you download this app. It's really good for travel. When we arrived at the airport, there was a huge queue in order to get some paper tickets for the train from the airport to central Paris. But with this app, it was really easy. You literally just buy a ticket, get the metro or the airport ticket. It's really easy, like it says it all right there for you. So I recommend doing that because that saved us so much time and potentially money as well, because you don't have to buy this like paper pass thing. And like I mentioned before, if you are staying and you're looking for somewhere to stay in Paris, then I recommend just spending the extra bit of money to go quite central. It really does help your legs, the time, and it gives you like a really nicer feel of Paris rather than having to keep traveling in and out. So definitely recommend that. And lastly, I recommend that you don't have a really strict itinerary. Like I said, I just pinned a bunch of points on a map. We headed towards there and then just stopped loads on the way. And yes, it did mean that we missed out on a few things, but it meant that we got to discover new things. So yeah, chill out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked my little first vlog recommendation thing. I really enjoyed it, and I do have plans of doing more things like this, but I would love your feedback. So if you can, please like, comment and subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you next time. Au revoir.